Spain is on the brink. Madrid has reasserted full power over the once autonomous region of Catalonia and is charging its independence leaders with rebellion, which could mean up to 30 years in prison. The unprecedented events have sent shockwaves through the region, where tens of thousands of Catalans on both sides have been taking to the streets for months.
However, before we can understand why Catalonia wants independence, we must first understand how it became a part of Spain.
The battle over Catalonia dates back to 1714, when the region was defeated in war by what is now Spain. It became one of 17 autonomous communities in the decentralized country, with its own president, parliament, and police force. But for decades, there's been resentment building over Madrid's interference in the region. And in 2008, as Spain fell into a deep economic crisis, the modern movement for independence gained momentum. This fall, Catalonia's parliament announced it would hold a binding referendum on whether to leave Spain. Madrid said such a vote was illegal and in violation of the Spanish constitution. And on referendum day, Spain sent its militarized police to shut voting down, sparking outrage.
Mireia Perez talks about what it was like inside one of the electoral colleges where the voting was taking place.
The repression we suffered that day has no name. We only wanted to vote in a specific way, but the Spanish police acted brutally against everyone that wanted to vote. There were almost 1,000 injured people because the Spanish police used violence against us. I was president on an electoral council, and never in my life had I experienced such a terror. Fortunately, nothing happened to us, but we were hearing about the news in other places around Catalonia, and we spent hours and hours in fear, waiting for the Spanish police to come, which did not happen in our electoral college. Hundreds of people were there all day trying to protect us.
On the day we arrived in Barcelona, anti-fascists were protesting the crackdown.
This protest by the Antifa has now been met by a police line who are blocking them from going any further. They're out here protesting the police violence that we saw on the day of the referendum.
The crowd was also anti-media. So we spoke to student members of the Catalan National Assembly, a pro-independence civic organization that was one of the driving forces behind the referendum.
How did you guys feel on the day of the referendum, October 1st, when you saw the Spanish police and government respond with such brutal force?
Pues fue como un shock muy grande, y entonces ya eran emociones de rabia, de impotencia, de no entender por qué un movimiento que desde el principio ha sido pacífico se pretende reprimir con tanta violencia y tan desmesurada, con gente mayor incluso que fue agredida.
La represión lo único que está haciendo es esto, que haya más movilizaciones y la gente tenga más razones para defender su derecho a decidir como nación.
On October 27th, Catalonia officially declared independence from Spain. Soon after, Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy announced that under Article 155 of the Spanish Constitution, Madrid was dissolving Catalonia's government and calling a snap election. Members of the Socialists Party of Catalonia had walked out of parliament in protest before the vote for independence. We spoke to Organization Secretary Salvador de la Roca before the dramatic turn of events. He told us independence leaders had no right to defy the law.
Should the Spanish government implement Article 155 of the Constitution?
If Mr. Puigdemont doesn't accept the rule of law, some step must be taken by the Spanish government to restore the rule of law in Catalonia. We should be clear on that. Without the rule of law, there is no democracy possible.
Given the popularity of Catalonia, it should come as no surprise that region is also Spain's economic powerhouse, as its GDP of more than $200 billion is higher than any other autonomous region. Many of Catalonia's industries like construction, services, and food production heavily rely on tourism. As a result, the region hasn't seen much of the economic hardship that has plagued Spain in recent years. In fact, as the country's GDP plummeted and unemployment reached nearly 25% in 2015, Catalonia's economy simultaneously grew and unemployment there dropped. Catalonia's thriving economy is at the center of its efforts to break away from Spain. Catalonian separatists argue that not only are their taxpayers keeping the other regions afloat during tough times, but that those poorer regions are actually allocated more public services than Catalonia.
El principal motiu pel qual vull que Catalunya sigui independent és perquè...
The main reason that makes me want to be independent is that I don't identify myself as Spanish. When I say this, I mean that my culture are els castellers, les sardanes, and el pa amb tomàquet. But for example, the bullfights are not.
Catalunya sigui independent és que, tot i que jo no soc una experta en economia...
Another important reason that makes me want to be independent is that, although I'm not an economist, I know that Catalonia is an important part of Spain's economy, and most of the time we're giving money to Spain that they will never give us back.
Comunitats autònomes que no s'esforcen tant per guanyar els seus diners. Després també és perquè jo no vull formar part d'un país que es fa...
Also, I don't want to be in a country that calls itself democratic, but when a part of it asks peacefully to vote and decide for its future, which is a right that everybody has, they answer with violence. We saw this last October, when we were asking for a peaceful votation and they answered by sending police, using violence against us, and sending our political leaders to jail just because they were doing what they said they would do. I think that if they are doing what they promised they would do, Spain has no right to put them in jail.
O sigui, l'estat espanyol no té cap dret de posar-los a la presó.
It is important to understand that not every Catalan wants independence from Spain. Views on the subject vary across a wide scale, from Catalans that identify as only Catalan to those who feel both Catalan and Spanish.
I'm Catalan, but also I'm Spanish.
I don't really know if I should say I'm Spanish or Catalan.
I am Catalan only, not Spanish.
I just say I'm from Barcelona. I feel both.
I would like Catalonia to become independent.
I don't want independence. I just want to vote.
That's the only way we will have to make our own decisions.
I really don't know what I would vote.
Many people in Catalonia don't really agree with the Popular Party. That's the one in the government right now in Spain.
I feel that Catalonia is not Spain's priority.
Catalonia generates a lot of money. It's one of the richest regions in Spain. But we feel we don't get enough money back.
It's not just about like the money or for something the government did. It's more about a feeling and a sense of belonging. For a Catalan person, they are from Catalonia and that's a feeling.
I don't want to be independent. I think that some Catalans want to be independent because they feel superior in a way, based on irrational things. They may be based on history, but all parts of Spain have their own history.
They're chanting things here like Spain will never be divided, that they are Spanish, Catalonia is part of Spain, and that they also want the Catalan president Puigdemont in prison.
Todo el pueblo, la mayoría del pueblo ha dicho basta. Estamos aquí para decir basta. Se terminó. No queremos la independencia, queremos la unión por completo de todo el pueblo.
Explain to me why you are against independence.
Independence is bad for Catalan people because it divides Catalan people in two halves, and we want to reunify the Catalan population, the Catalan people. It's bad because it takes us out of Europe, and we want to be part of Europe. And it's bad because, from an economical point of view, it's a very bad business for the Catalan economy, as we have seen these last days, with more than 500 companies leaving Catalonia.
It's very clear to me from talking to people over the past week that Catalans are divided. What do you think the best way forward is to heal those divisions and to mend them?
To try a new agreement between Catalan people and the rest of Spain. We think that this can be achieved through a reformation of the Spanish constitution, and we think this can attain a consensus of, let's say, 70-80% of the Catalan population. This is the most important problem we have nowadays in Catalonia, the division in the society.
Ernesto and his friend Carlos have been friends since they were 3. Carlos is for independence and Ernesto is against it.
I'm against independence because I think the logical order of humanity is advancing to bigger and more inclusive political communities, not smaller.
Okay, and my nationality, I think it's Catalan because I've always been educated in Catalan. My language is Catalan. My costumes and my traditions are Catalan and are different from Spanish. I love Spain, I love Spanish people, but I don't think that Spain belongs to me.
with globalizations, little states, I'm not talking about Catalonia, I'm talking like Spain, little states like Spain are going to disappear, are going to be totally irrelevant. A European federation is the only answer to the modern times we're living in, because we have big countries like the US, like Russia, like China, and countries of Europe cannot compete with them. Yeah. We have to be together if we want to compete with them.
Madrid's forceful response has conjured for some memories of Spain's recent fascist past under military dictator Francisco Franco, who ruled from 1939 until his death in 1975. Carlos Castellanos was jailed several times for resisting Franco and fighting for independence. His grandson Roger has inherited the cause.
Que es va fer doncs, al meu barri, my neighborhood, in Barcelona, for demanding my liberation when I was in jail.
Why is the issue of Catalonia one of injustice for you?
Per moltes raons, no? per raons, diguem, sobretot de representativitat política. De fet, la manera de fer de Catalunya no té massa res a veure amb la ideologia dominant a l'estat espanyol. Durant els 10 darrers anys hi ha hagut potser una dotzena o més de lleis del Parlament de Catalunya dedicades a la justícia social i a la igualtat, com la llei contra l'homofòbia, les lleis d'igualtat entre homes i dones, lleis a favor dels refugiats, l'acollida dels refugiats. Qualsevol tipus de llei que hem volgut avançar cap a la igualtat, o també, per exemple, la llei contra la pràctica de la tauromàquia, doncs tot això el govern de l'estat espanyol ho ha suprimit.
Have either of you ever felt that you are Spanish?
Potser en algun moment d'inconsciència molt juvenil, potser sí, potser no.
L'Espanya és un empire. La nació espanyola es fonamenta en la imposició de la nació castellana i de la cultura castellana a les altres nacions de la península. No pot haver-hi un sentiment nacional espanyol unitari, perquè la nació espanyola està construïda a base d'imposició.
Helena's parents' commitment to the independence movement is a main reason why she too supports secession.
Jo crec que realment l'entorn en què m'han criat sí que ha influït, perquè sincerament penso que si, per exemple...
I think that the fact that my parents want independence has influenced me since I was really young. And I also think that, for example, if I had been born in Madrid, which is the Spanish capital, I would probably be against the independence of Catalonia.
Que ja no vull ser independentista i que vull quedar...
If I decide that I don't want to be independent anymore, I know that my parents will be fine with it, because they let me think whatever I want to and allow me to have my own opinions.
Vulgui ja ser lliure de decidir el que jo vulgui. L'únic és que, clar, des de petita, ells ja...
But they have always wanted Catalonia's independence, and they have always talked to me in Catalan. So the environment that I have lived in has always been pro-independence.
Evidentment deu ser per això que jo ara també vull la independència.
Outside Spain, Catalonia has support among other movements for local rule, including Scotland, the Flanders region of Belgium, and 2 of Italy's wealthiest northern regions, which also recently voted in favor of greater autonomy in a non-binding referendum. Meanwhile, no other countries have said they would recognize Catalonia's statehood. The EU and the US have expressed their support for Spain.
Jo, sincerament, espero que d'aquí uns anys o d'aquí uns mesos...
I really hope that in a few years, every country will recognize Catalonia as an independent country. But if everything stays the way it is now, I don't think that is going to happen, because Spain's president won't even let us vote, even though he keeps saying that Spain is a democratic country.
Després també perquè, no sé, o sigui, ell simplement no vol i després diu que és democràcia, però en realitat no és democràcia perquè no podem votar. I jo sincerament espero que algun dia ho aconseguim.
I think that, at least, we need to have the right to vote. And I hope that someday they will realize this.
Però el que més vull ara, el més proper que estic esperant, és que ens deixin votar legalment.
And if the results are pro-independence, they will accept them.
Que ens deixin ser independents. I que si no són independència, doncs mira, ja esperarem uns anys o ja veurem què passa.
And if they are not, at least we will know that this is what the people want.
Ja tornin a estar a casa seva o ja tornin a estar involucrats en la política i en els seus partits.
I also hope that when I go back home, the people that are in prison now are going to be free. But I'm not sure that this is going to happen.
Mantingui la llei del 155 serà bastant difícil.
I am really looking forward to be identified as Catalan by every country in the world, and I hope that someday this will happen.
I en el meu DNI posi que soc catalana i el meu passaport també, i tots els documents legals.
It is a feeling I have had my whole life. It is not easy to explain, but I've never felt Spanish. Our culture, way of thinking, language are very different, and I cannot identify with them. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I was born during Franco's dictatorship, and Catalan and everything related to our culture was forbidden. Everyone in my primary school spoke Spanish at home. I was the only one speaking Catalan at home, so I was kind of bullied because of this. Perhaps this fact made my feelings regarding Catalonia stronger. I do not know. Fortunately, I changed schools when I was 14, and it was very different there. It was a school with a strong Catalan path, so most of the people in that school had the same feelings as me. What is clear is that we are fighters in a peaceful way, and we will not give up.
Em dic Helena i soc catalana.